Recently, Jennifer Lee Pryor spoke with Comedy Hype to promote the re-release of 3 Richard Pryor vinyl records. Jennifer also gave us an update on the long-awaited Richard Pryor biopic. The latest we've heard was that Kenya Barris has taken over as director of the project, but the current writer strike has put a halt on the production. During the conversation, Jennifer Lee also spoke on Mike Epps' previous performance as Richard Pryor in the HBO series Winning Time, where she called the impression a bad imitation that reduced Richard to a caricature. She also stated when production of the movie continues, she thinks an unknown actor should play the legendary comedian. Today we have our Comedy Hype analysts, Danielle Miller, Capone, and Pierre calling into the show to give their thoughts and reactions. But first, let's take a look at this exclusive clip.
Now, I can't help but not let you get away with just talking about this movie. Where is our movie?
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Okay,
what's the, because just to lay it up, it's been years upon years.
It has been.
I remember when Damon Wayans was attached to this. I remember it's just been different people. What's been going on? Why don't we have a Richard Pryor biopic?
I'm currently working with Kenya Barris.
Okay.
And we are, now the writer's strike has intervened, of course. So we have to, put a pin in it again. Yeah. But we have been proceeding. And it has been a journey like no other. I returned to Richard in '95 and I inherited a crappy deal, and from then it was just a sequence, and then Richard of events, and then Richard, of course, passed December 10th, 2005. And we had Harvey Weinstein was involved. Bill, I mean, I won't bore you with the whole all the vicissitudes.
Yeah, but that put a damper into it.
Well, sure. I mean, we didn't get greenlit, and then of course we know what happened with Harvey. We are developing it. And it is, again, as I said, the strike has interrupted us. Hopefully they're going to resolve it. I'm on the writer's side, obviously, on the union side. And I'm hoping they resolve it quickly.
I remember when Lee Daniels was attached to it. Yeah. And you guys had this star-studded cast. You had Oprah, Mike Epps. Are those names still in the works? Or with you and Kenya, you guys are about to do something?
It's going to be a whole new slate. Yeah. And with Lee, I mean, what kept happening was, I kept being left at the altar. I draw that metaphor analogy. I mean, Lee said, Jennifer, I've got Empire.
okay.
And you can't fault him. I mean, he had a great thing to go to, and it was great for him. Wasn't good for Pryor.
The film of Richard Pryor, the way this thing is going to probably take off is who plays Richard.
Yeah.
That name has changed. And I will be, it wouldn't be my job to at least ask you is there people that you're considering? And I saw there was some criticism with Epps's portrayal. I think you were on Twitter,
And I told Mike and I got into it. And we have over the years. I love Mike. I respect him. Yeah. And, all will be okay. All will, be fine. We can put that behind us. But he's aged out, by the way, as a lot of guys have now. Over the years. It's been years. No, I thought that was a bad imitation. I said to him, and I know that these series, what they do is, Adam McKay does one, a pilot or maybe a couple, and then he passes it on to others. And Mike kind of dissolved himself of any responsibility. He, this is what, no, you have a responsibility as an artist. You knew Richard, Mike. This was just a sloppy, some kind of, imitation that, I was not happy about it.
Thinking like someone new, someone that we never seen before, like a new person on the scene.
I'll tell you what, I've always felt it should be an unknown, and I'll tell you why. Because the material itself is so Richard, it's so heavy, that if you put a star in there, at one point Eddie was attached, and you put a star in there, it gets clunky, it gets too heavy. You've got Richard Pryor and that heavy material, and you've got a star, and it's like, they kind of almost cross each other out, I think. So I think you want somebody who can be a clean palette, right? And who can come into it and really, inhabit Richard's psyche persona. And I would like to see an unknown myself. Yeah. And we'll see how that plays out. I mean, that's what I hope. But somebody with some chops, somebody who's maybe been around the block a little, but, has good acting chops. They've got to be able to act, because it's going to be a monster to act. It's going to be heavy.
I don't think there's anything left to do but to come and get your reactions. This has been a long time that we've been having this discussion. Pierre, I'm coming over. What's your reaction, hearing from Jennifer Lee Pryor?
I said the bitch did not want to go like she's supposed to say what she did. I'm going for Richard Pryor, unknown and a bit around the block until I get the role. So, look, I understand why it really hasn't been made. She made some good, valid points, and I understand. She does own the rights, so she wants to make sure her stamp is on whatever goes. He was such an important figure that people don't want to make a mistake with this. This is going to be like a one and done. Whoever puts this thing out the first is really going to have all eyes on them, and it cannot be, a bad, situation or bad acting or whatever wrong person for it. I would say, she said going for a new face or someone. Like, I thought Mike Epps would have done a great job. Did he age out? Yeah, she got showed. I mean, they might have a lot of scenes of him when he was younger. Richard, Mike Epps' face is more round. If Mike loses weight, slims the face down, then okay, I can see him being a younger Richard Pryor. But I don't have a problem with her wanting to find a new face or someone been around that kind of really nails it. And like she said, maybe some actors who've been around for a while may come with their idea of how they want to really play it, instead of listening to what she says or the director says. They might say, I know how to play this. And that might not be what they want. And so that's probably one of the reasons why she wants to go with an unknown or a new face. And I have no problem as long as they hit it out of the park, because again, especially as a comedian, he was so loved and beloved that we really want to see the real feel of it, i.e. what Jamie Foxx did. Jamie Foxx did that, and he had been around, but he nailed it. So it doesn't mean someone else who is famous can't nail it, but I can see why she wants to go with somebody unknown to maybe control the project a little more.
Capone, let me bring you in. Same thing. I love to get your reaction after hearing from Jennifer Lee Pryor. What are your thoughts?
She has some very valid points. The point of having somebody new, I mean, if a person new or old that can kill the part, I think that they should be subjected to get it. Just looking for a new face. The one thing that she said that was very profound and powerful is that his material is so powerful that it can get mixed up with somebody's star, if you understand what that means. And that was a very, very valid point, and I commend her for even bringing that to value, because there is a lot of people who might act like him, or even might put themselves into a position to be seen as him, but that material itself is something totally in a place by itself.
Danielle, let me bring you in. This has been a conversation for a really long time. We're kind of on the edge of our seats waiting for this biopic. Let me get your thoughts. What's your reaction after hearing from Jennifer Lee Pryor?
I can understand her wanting to make sure that this is done and this is done correctly, because this is not only Richard Pryor's, this is not only his life, but this is also a life that she's witnessed. So this is very personal to her, being that that's her husband, and she just wants to make sure that it's done right. In regards to her saying that she wants an unknown to play him, or let me not say that, somebody who hasn't had their breakout role as yet, I could see that point. Will Smith and Jamie Foxx did an excellent job in their biopics, but then there's something that's very special when somebody gets a role in a biopic and they become the breakout star of the season. We saw it in the New Edition movie. We saw it with Straight Outta Compton with Ice Cube and his son. And then recently with Billie Holiday, we know that Andrea Day has been around for a while, but when she did that movie, it was like her breakout role. And what it did for what having somebody that has a breakout role as yet, you don't associate the star with the role. What you're literally doing is looking at this person like this is a young Richard Pryor, or this is an older Richard Pryor, or this is a young Billie Holiday. So I can see her point there.
Now, as I mentioned, this has been a long time coming, right? So, of course, a couple names have been in the hats, and I want to run through those. As mentioned, Mike Epps obviously was one of those leading people to play the role. Damon Wayans, Eddie Murphy, Marlon Wayans, as well as Nick Cannon. Pierre, I'm gonna come to you. She talks about seeing someone new or maybe someone who hasn't had their breakout role, but I want to ask you, is there anyone that you want to see? You've been in the game for a while, you've been around a few people. Is there anybody, that comes to mind for you that you would want to see play Richard Pryor?
I know the pictures is on the home. That's all I'm gonna say. Go to the next guest on the show. Let Capone and D'Angelo do what they need to do. That's a little bit Bill Cosby and Richard Pryor. That's Bill Cosby. That's Richard Cosby right there. I don't know what the Jello is, but the bitches don't know either.
You are hilarious, Capone. Let me come to you. Same thing, Capone. Is there anybody that you want to see play Richard Pryor?
After that great impression right there, I know who I don't want to see play Richard Pryor.
Oh shit!
He sound like Gumbo.
I heard Cosby. I heard a little bit of Cosby in there.
I don't know. I mean, I'm quite sure if there's a script given to the right person, whoever gets it is well deserving of it. That's the way I feel about it.
So nobody. You would probably want to see an unknown. Then is that a fair response?
Can I be real honest?
Please.
This thing has been going on so long that I'm so uninterested in who playing it now, because Mike Epps had the role and Mike Epps did a great job at what he was doing. So they let him play himself out and get older and keep promising. And even the job that he did on the Lakers thing, my opinion, he still did a great job. I don't think the dialogue was great. I don't think what he said was great. But as far as him nailing Richard Pryor, I think that was a good job.
So let me ask you this. Pierre is hilarious. Pierre mentioned, he doesn't think Mike Epps is, and Pierre, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike Epps is too old. We could see a Mike Epps, lose weight, work out, kind of slim out his face. So let me ask you, Capone, do you think Mike Epps is has reached the age where he's not able to still play the role?
No.
Okay.
I think that, with a little bit of makeup and scenery, he can nail it right away. That's the way I feel.
Technology, I know we were talking about it here, CGI, that's another thing that we're seeing, come in the films. Not saying I would want to, but there are just a lot of things that can come into the play. Danielle, let me come to you. Same thing. There's a long list of people over the years that have been up for the role. I know you kind of agree with Jennifer Lee that, maybe an unknown person, but I want to ask you very directly, is there anybody that you want to see play Richard Pryor?
Okay, so here I come. Uh-oh. Okay, so he has a son. Richard Pryor has a son, a younger son. He goes by Mason Pryor that resembles him. And he does stand-up comedy, so it isn't like he isn't in the entertainment business already. So I think he should play the role. I mean, even if he's not an actor, they gave Ice Cube's son, I believe it was, acting lessons for him to play inside Straight Outta Compton. And we see how well that went. So I think they should try his younger son.
I mean, as long as it's taken, he could have taken some acting classes and all that by now and been a top tier actor as long as we've been waiting. Capone, you mentioned something. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Capone. Go ahead.
I was thinking about that too, about the son, but a lot of times when wives have the authority over the children, that tends to be the problem. I think that being that she is, the person who's in charge of the whole enterprise, that the kids got a problem with that.
Yeah, I've definitely seen some reports of that as well. So, I don't think it's an option, but, at least we get to share who we like to see, right? But you mentioned something, Capone. You talked about the timing and how there's, you're not as interested as you once were to see this happen. Do you think it's too late for a biopic for Richard Pryor to even happen? Do you think it should kind of just be left alone?
My honest opinion, yes. the man legacy is a great legacy, but there are some behind the scenes stuff that you hear about that you really don't want to believe. And I personally think that if all of it is not going to come out, then they should just leave him and leave his legacy alone. Because the other side of the dark side is not always great. And I don't think that they're going to bring all of that out.
Pierre, coming to you, what are your thoughts? Do you think it's too late for a biopic of Richard Pryor?
I'm shocked by Capone saying that. Because we do the white man, we do Abraham Lincoln over and over again. We do the white man, JFK, over and over again. We do Al Capone over and over again, but we can't do the black man one time. It's too long for that, brother. We can't show him again, brother. It's too long for the black man to be shown. But the white man, we can do over and over again, brother.
Oh my God.
There you go, brother. Fight the power, brother. Fight the power, brother.
What happened to the
That brother Richard Pryor can come out any damn time. The black man can come out anytime. I'm cool whenever he come out. I want to see it when the black man come out. We see the white man Capone, over and over.
Pierre, you are on one today. I thought the Cosby accent was going to continue, but he went over to the Black Panther Party.
That was a Cosby accent. I thought you were doing a Cosby accent.
Well, he was trying to do Richard Pryor. Pierre was, he's just.
I know what I was doing. I was doing Richard Cosby. Richard Cosby, damn it. Okay. Bill Pryor. I was doing Bill Pryor.
Danielle, let me come to you. You know, what are your thoughts, Danielle? What do you think here? Do you think it's too late? Do you think we reached a point where it's just like, hey, just leave it where it is?
I could understand Capone's point of view on it. And I could also understand Pierre's point of view as well. See, there I am in the middle. So I think no matter when a biopic comes out, no matter how long it's been in development, it's still a gem because there are still generations that need to learn about these people. So for me, I mean, I was born in 92. Pryor died in 2005. Right? I'm a baby. So Pryor passed away in 2005. So like those type of movies like really tell us who the person were and how great of a legacy that they left behind. And it gets you more interested in reading up about them and going to their catalogs and seeing what is the work they put in and all of that. So I don't think it's never too late for a biopic. I don't think so.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Well, what we're going to do, we're going to go to commercial break. And when we come back, I actually want to touch on a hot topic. As you know, Gabrielle Union has made her way into the headlines. And when we come back, I want to dive into it with you all. So let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Culture sounds like jumping the broom. Like dancing to Never Too Much with your groom, it sounds like the electric slide. Like so much food on your plate, it starts to curve on the sides, it sounds like Boo Boo the Fool and McDonald's money. And what keeps all of this intact is the simple fact that my mama black.
So yesterday, Gabrielle Union shocked the world after saying she and her husband, Dwayne Wade, split their expenses down the middle, 50-50. In a recent interview with Bloomberg, Union stated that she still struggles feeling secure in her wealth and worries about being responsible for her other loved ones. Now, Erica Alexander, who is most known for playing Maxine Shaw, a successful black lawyer on Living Single, would co-sign Union's stance by saying, truth. Union's interview resulted in a mixed response online, with some disagreeing with Union for contributing to her household despite a successful career. Let's take a look at this clip, and when we come back, I want to get you all's thoughts and reactions.
It's weird to say I'm head of household because in this household, we split everything 50-50. It puts this, there's always this like gorilla on your back that it is like, it's weird to say I'm head of household because in this household, we split everything 50-50. It puts this, there's always this like gorilla on your back that it is like, you better work, bitch. You better work.
Now, as I mentioned, people are going crazy with this topic online. I want to read a few comments, then come to you all for your reaction. One user said, most modern black women have the same mindset as Gabrielle Union. Another user, Gabrielle Union is going 50-50? My God. Another user, when you're with a real man walking in masculine energy, you always feel secure. Last, another user says, we need more Gabrielle Unions in this world. Pierre, I know you've seen it. You had to see these headlines. I got to know, what are your thoughts on Gabrielle Union going 50-50 with Dwayne Wade?
First of all, honestly, I have to give her props for having the courage to even speak about this. You can go, even go there. But, they are a publicity kind of group, her, the husband, the children, they like publicity. So I'm not surprised, but I will give her courage for going out there and speaking about that, to letting people know that she goes 50-50 with her. But now also, that might have been agreed upon in the beginning. So if you agree upon that, whatever reason why you choose to agree upon that, when you know your husband is worth $100 million, at least when she married him, he was a multi-millionaire worth a lot more than her. If she agreed upon that, whatever reason, I don't know her reasoning to agree upon it back then, to say we go 50-50, because they didn't make 50-50 money. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what they did about that. I think it's ridiculous for her to feel this way and stress and all this and anxiety when her husband makes that much money, when she's talking about some people may not eat in her circle. Well, you marry the man, y'all money's supposed to be mixed. Hers supposed to be mixed together. That's what they say. So her money's his money, his money's her money. So nobody should be starving around that crew. That's really, that might be a new age dude that does that, who's worth $100-200 million and goes 50-50 with his wife, who makes a couple of $1 million. I just think that I wouldn't do that. I would more like to be 49-51, you know what I'm saying? But not 50-50.
Pierre, I can always count on you to throw in a curveball, and I appreciate your curveball. Capone, I'm coming over. I seen you laughing, Pierre. Today is one of those days, and I'm loving it. But Capone, I'd love to know your thoughts. And because Pierre also threw in, what he would do, what's your reaction to seeing in the headlines? And would you do, a 50-50 if you're in Dwayne Wade's shoes, married to Gabrielle Union?
I appreciate the honesty about it. I've been in situations where the woman didn't pay no bills. She had a job. I took care of everything. But now, when COVID hit and I needed that person to help me with something, they weren't there. So I don't think that I could put myself into a position where the responsibility, it doesn't have to be split in half, but there will be some type of responsibility taken on paying something, because I've done it before. And like I said, when you needed somebody and they weren't there for you, you start to really open your eyes like, wow, how quickly we forget. And so I just think that the responsibility is something that, like I said, it doesn't have to be 50-50, but there should be some bills that should be spreaded to be taken care of.
Danielle, my island gal, I'd love to know from your perspective, after seeing these headlines, what's your reaction to it? But also, as the woman on this panel, would you, if you're in Gabrielle Union's position, would you also be in that 50-50 range? Would there be something you do?
Let me make this clear. If I was in Gabrielle Union's position, married to Dwayne Wade, I'm splitting nothing 50-50. Because it's honesty. It's because you make more money than me. Let's be real. You make more money with me, and I agree with Pierre. Sometimes we don't know what arrangement people have in marriages. But this is how I feel. I feel like Gab is giving off masculine energy. I think she doesn't know how to. And don't get upset with me, but I think that Gab, because she has been independent for so long, she doesn't necessarily know how to fall into that space of security where you let D Wade lead, or maybe D Wade isn't even. I don't know what's going on in there, but all I know is if I Gabrielle Union, I am not splitting no 50-50. I think what's important is to note, though, in my shoes right now, if I was to get married to somebody, then I can look at it that 50-50 split, because we're not Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade, unless my husband is like a multi-millionaire too. I'm splitting nothing 50-50 either. But what the agreement will be is, and I think that people miss out, is there is still a responsibility on me. For instance, if he is paying all the bills in the house, then my role now is, if I'm not working, my role now is to manage that household and to make sure that when he comes home, there's nothing he has to worry about in the household, because he's out working all day to make sure that we're straight. Another thing that raised my antennas with her interview was when she said, I have to get up and say, I have to work. I don't when you have a partnership, that shouldn't be something that's giving you an anxiety attack, because again, you know that you can conquer things together. Another thing that sent up an antenna for me is, what other households y'all talking about taking care of if the two of y'all are married to each other? So those are two things that sent my antennas up. But here's a compromise. Cardi B mentioned last year, December, that her and Offset does 50-50 on houses. That's fair. That is fair. And she gave the reason why she goes 50-50 on houses. So if it was necessary, like 50, okay, like let's say D Wade and Gab goes 50-50 on business investments, 50-50 on a house, then fine. But 50-50 on everything? No, gal, I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that to Dwayne Wade.
The accent came out heavy. Pierre, what are your thoughts over there? And then I'm gonna come to you, Capone. Go ahead, Pierre.
Hey, just real quick, let's say she's worth, let's say $10 million and he's worth $200 million. There's a lifestyle that he can afford that she really can't afford. You know what I'm saying? So let's say they got a house that's worth $5 million and the note is $25,000 a month. She might be a kind of person that can only, can handle a $5,000, but not a $1,000. So to try to be 50-50 for a man who makes a lot more than you is ridiculous. It's not even, he has to either not buy a lot of stuff that he wants because she can't afford it, together. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they can't have cable in all rooms and shit. She can only pay cable for the living room and the bedroom and shit. He wants all 9 rooms to have cable. She's like, well, nigga, you make more money than me. So he should be paying more than that. It can't be like 50-50. You get what I'm saying? I've been in a relationship like that where I made way more than my woman has made. And I couldn't expect her to pay 50-50 on everything in that situation. You know what I'm saying? I make way more. I have a lifestyle I want. I want steak and lobster every night. She wants tuna fish and steak some nights. I want every night. So I can't ask you to do that. So no, I think that's way unfair. But she, again, like the lovely Danielle said, but also she said she shouldn't have agreed to that. Now the other household might be because she has publicists, she has assistants, she got to take care of other people she has to pay too to keep their household going too. But no, I'm not going to be married to somebody making $200 million and I'm stressing out every morning. No, sir.
Exactly.
Capone, I know you had some thoughts. What are your thoughts, Capone?
If anybody knows business, you pay yourself. And people don't understand that concept. The concept is you pay yourself because everything that comes after that is mandatory for you to pay. Your bills are mandatory. So with her, it's the same thing. As a 50-50, you are disciplining yourself. You're disciplining yourself to be able to sustain a lifestyle that y'all have together. It doesn't matter. If something happened to Dwayne Wade and his $2 million is out of there, she still has a responsibility to pay. And that's just something that people always counting other people's money. Those are his kids. The boys or the boys and girls or whatever were his kids first. They had a baby together. We don't know what the breakdown is, but when you learn discipline and you learn how to pay yourself in business first, because you're not going to come at yourself harder than the government is going to come for you for their taxes. And a lot of people don't understand that. And that's the same that happens with discipline.
But hold on. I thought when you're married, y'all money's together. Where is this business at? Is you married or you're not married? Is it a business or is it a partnership? What's going on?
No such thing as money together.
Ooh.
Every that does some type of agreement. There ain't no, I got $200 million. That means you're marrying me for my money. Whoa. If you 10 million, hey, all right, let's switch the tables around. Let's say she was worth 200 million and he was worth, how would y'all look at him then? How would y'all pay?
No, I wouldn't do that. Here's what I would do. If I'm worth $200 million and the person that I married only worth $10 million, that's cool with me, My thing is, how can I help you make more money? How can I use my money to help you invest? I'll handle the bills until then, but I'll help you invest because that's what a partnership is.
I gotta do that. Just put your 200 million with my 10. Now we got 210 million together.
Hold on, wait though. But as a man in a marriage, one of your responsibilities is hold on. When you took me away from my father and my parents' household, you promised that you would provide and take care of me. That's one of the things that you promised to do. So if you making $200 million and I only making 10 million, I can understand you asking me handling something, but handling everything 50-50, especially because I trying to keep up with your lifestyle, is
Right.
way out the box. Way out
What
the box.
I'm saying is, my career is over. I got 200 million. We got to live off of that. Of course, if you invest right. But
Pierre, let me bring you in.
you can get a whole nother paycheck paying you 300 million. Should the odds be the same?
Pierre, you want to add anything here?
I'm out. Shit, I'm out.
Go ahead, Danielle. I'll let you close out. Close it out. I know you were going to respond to Capone. Go ahead, Danielle.
Shit. Money will bring the truth out in people, won't it?
Danielle, was there? I know I cut you off there. I want to just make sure. Was there anything that you wanted to respond before we close out?
No, I just want to reiterate the fact that if we're talking about us, I have no problem going 50-50 with a man if, let's say, he's making maybe $100,000 a year and I'm making like $90,000. That's fair level. That's fair leverage. But if you making $2 million and I only making 50,000, you cannot expect me to go 50-50 because now I'm you can't. Me as a woman, you cannot. Now, if I'm making $2 million and you making $50,000, then honey, I have no issue us coming together and figuring out how you could make more money and how we can invest this money. I have no issue with that, and I will handle the bills in the interim.
Well, as I said, I wanted to make sure we touch on this topic because it's crazy in the headlines. So thank you all for chiming in on this as well as our topic from earlier. Of course, before we head out, I'd like to know what you have going on. Capone, I'm coming over to you because today they put you on the outskirts. You were on an island by yourself today. So I'm starting with you, Capone. What do you have coming up? And of course, how can people follow you?
I am getting ready to get on the plane. I am in the back of my driver's car because I knew that I paid myself first. And so I will be, I don't know where I'll be, but I'll be somewhere expensive. But you can follow me on Instagram at Comedian Capone. And if you can't see comedian, don't follow me. Thank y'all. First rule of business.
No, what the fuck? Well, Capone is true to his word. You see, he don't pan over to that empty seat because he ain't going 50-50 with nobody. Look at that. That's the empty as hell. Ain't no female over there. So I know that's right, Capone. Pay yourself first, okay? Okay, so, all right. If you're in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, June 7th, it's a Wednesday at the Comedy Zone. I'll be there flashing flyers. I normally am. Come on, Charlotte, North Carolina. Come on out to the Comedy Zone if you're in that area. This week, we got the very funny Major Hype, Caribbean comedian on PS Panel. Said a lot of funny stuff. I learned a lot about the Caribbean experience. As Danielle, I've got to tell Danielle that I will be coming to the Bahamas the Memorial Day weekend, but I won't come all the way to the Bahamas. We're only going to Bimini Islands. You know, I heard Bimini, me and Ricky Smiley take me on his boat. You know, I got friends who don't mind going 50. Well, I ain't going 50-50. It's his boat, nigga. So I'm riding, okay? I got my luggage. That's all I'm going with. So we friends, okay? We ain't lovers and shit, okay, nigga? Go on, pay that. Don't put me on your boat. But me and Ricky Smiley, you know, we're going to the Bimini Islands, which I heard is near Bahamas or part of Bahamas or whatever the case may be. So I'll be close to Danielle, but not close enough to see that lovely face. But again, you can follow me if you want to for this lovely face, this Bill Cosby, Richard Pryor impersonation at Comic Pierre, COMIC PIERRE. Holla at your boy.
I'm going to make sure Jennifer Lee Pryor sees that so we can put you in the running.
I'm trying to tell you, bitch, I ain't doing shit.
Danielle, I'm coming over to you. I love this beautiful view that you have. What do you have coming up? And of course, how can people follow you? And where are you? Can you tell us where you are?
So I am on New Providence, which you guys would know as Nassau. So New Providence is the island. Nassau is the city. And I am sitting in the Sandy Port area, just enjoying the nice breeze and a nice restaurant. Pierre, Bimini is a part of the Bahamas.
Right.
It is right off the coast of Florida. It's one of our islands. We are made up of 700 islands and keys. We're an archipelago. And it literally, if you stand up on Bimini, you can see the lights in Miami. That's just how close we are to each other. And I wish, like, I have no problem. I'll catch up with you after this, because I can catch a boat down to Bimini, and we could have a good time together. It's nice to party with locals. But what I have coming up is, of course, Comedy Hype every Tuesday. I am here with Capone and Pierre, and of course, the lovely Symphony Thompson. I also have new episodes of my talk show called Sis on the way this summer. And I think that's about it. You can follow me. Yeah, follow me on Instagram. That's DEEA Miller. DEEA Miller. And that's me.
Obviously, I'm doing something wrong because Capone has a driver. Pierre is getting on Ricky Smiley's boat. Danielle saying she can catch a boat over. Like, can I? No. You have a show. I'm trying to get on the boat. Put me on the boat. No, as always, I have a good time with all of y'all. I appreciate you all for chiming in on this topic, but you heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts of Jennifer Lee Pryor revealing why we haven't seen a Richard Pryor biopic? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
Put it in the comments.
It all in the comments.
Do you know the comedy culture? Play Comedy Hype, the game. Out now.